what transpired is absolutely shocking.
Mhm.
It's heartrending and it's criminal. It's callousness because these organizations amass a lot of money, and the students who are aspirants come with great hope. The parents invest in ensuring that their hopes and dreams are realized, but that callousness is shocking. And I would say that it's a wake-up call for everybody. Minimal requirements,
Hmm.
and these requirements are in any way violated, there's some kind of punitive action that has to be there. These kids have come far away from home.
Mhm.
Now, I found when students go to study in top institutions, say in US, Canada, UK, Singapore,
Mhm.
the universities there take it upon themselves to advise students where they can stay. Area-wise monitoring should happen, just like you have police stations which are there area-wise. So there should be monitoring systems area-wise.
Hello and welcome to this special broadcast on One India as the unfortunate deaths of three UPSC aspirants rocked not just the country but also shook up the consciousness of every individual in the country. There are so many concerns and questions raising on the rules and regulations that guide these coaching institutes, plus the safety apparatus, the security, and the upkeep and compliance of the rules set by several administrative bodies. How best it can be tackled, and secondly, from the education sector, what needs to be done. To discuss that further, we are joined by Dr. Amrita Das, founder and director, Institute for Career Studies, also known as ICS. Dr. Das, thank you so much for speaking to One India.
I'm delighted to be with One India because you're doing really wonderful work in creating awareness for the benefit and well-being of all. These are very important aspects that you're looking into.
Definitely, ma'am. And the need of the hour has actually pushed not just the media fraternity, I would say, but all the concerned stakeholders, including the educationists, the authorities, the administration, and the institutions like yours, like Institute for Career Studies, which focuses on the bigger picture. In your opinion, Dr. Das, what transpired in old Rajendra Nagar in Delhi, how do you see it in totality, and what exactly needs to be done as of now?
Pankaj, what transpired is absolutely shocking.
Mhm.
It's heartrending and it's criminal, the manner in which the major security concerns and well-being of the students was ignored. It's callousness because these organizations amass a lot of money, and the students who are aspirants come with great hope. The parents invest in ensuring that their hopes and dreams are realized, but that callousness is shocking. And I would say that it's a wake-up call for everybody. Now, what we need to look at is that every institution should ensure a safe, secure, and conducive environment for the students. Safe, secure, and conducive. Now, when we look at security,
Mhm.
disasters are happening with increasing frequency. And one of the reasons for that is that the various mandatory compliances are ignored,
Right.
and there
Right.
are not enough compliances. So in this case, when it comes to security,
Mhm.
I would strongly recommend that we relook at issues like fire safety.
Mhm.
Now also, when it's a matter of flooding, look at
Mhm.
what chances are there of flooding in the basements. And I believe there are basements which are lower ground and upper ground.
Mhm.
If you're in the lowest part of the basement and it's flooding
Mhm.
and there's no outlet for the water, then there's no escape for the persons who are trapped.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely, absolutely shocking. So we need to look at these aspects of security with regard to flooding, with regard to fire, have well-defined escape routes. That's one. Secondly, we need to ensure the optimal number of seats as per the size of the room. They are way beyond what is
More than
healthy, more than you can have. They're just stuffy classrooms. So there should be some kind of requirement there. Proper lighting, air conditioning, pure drinking water. Often it's not there. Pure drinking water, hygienic toilet facilities. So all these should be mandatory. And I would recommend that the list of these mandatory requirements should be signed by parents and students, that they've done a check and they're satisfied. And if they're not satisfied, where they should report it. So I think this is a very, very important area where everybody is aware of the mandatory requirements for the safety, security, and well-being of the students.
Absolutely, Dr. Das. There are so many aspects to it. While you were conversing and putting these pointers out,
Yes.
since we covered this unfortunate incident from the ground, we spoke to, I guess, more than 500 students who are protesting there. And you're right. When we talk about basic amenities like clean drinking water, toilet facilities, air ventilated rooms, not stuffed rooms, and not jam-packed, even the top-notch names, in this case, the UPSC coaching centers, even they are found, erring on these pointers. Many said that when they go there for admission, they will offer you juice, they will offer you water, cold drinking water. But after that, once they enter the classrooms, then you have to take permission even to take a toilet break. So such is the inhumane condition at times. In your opinion, ma'am, because we also gathered it's a vicious cycle of demand and supply. If you or your kid doesn't go, or my kid doesn't go to that class saying this is not apt for me, maybe someone else will go. So the compliance factor comes in. In what ways do you think that these institutions of higher learnings and coaching centers can be made accountable to the students or the parents in general?
They can be made accountable once there's this list mandated as a minimal requirements. And these requirements are in any way violated, there's some kind of punitive action that has to be there.
Yes.
Also, I agree that if I don't join, somebody else will come in. But in this case, if there are these requirements which are mandatory, for instance, if you cannot have more than 80 students in a class, start a second batch or a third batch. So I think that is important. I also feel that there should be medical emergency facilities. So there should be lists of doctors who can be called, ambulances that can be called. That also is the responsibility of institutes which have these students all day long. So the medical factor needs to be looked at. And one more, now, these kids have come far away from home. Now, I found when students go to study in top institutions, say in US, Canada, UK, Singapore, the universities there take it upon themselves to advise students where they can stay. And they have looked at accommodations which are safe for the students. So I think our responsibility extends beyond the classroom.
Absolutely.
To ensure the well-being of students and to actually see what would be a safe place for them to stay in during their presence in that particular teaching.
Accommodation was almost, if not bigger, ma'am, almost an equal concern of the students, apart from the safety and upkeep of the buildings by MCD or by the concerned institutions. And if you talk about, say, Mukherjee Nagar, Patel Nagar, Old Rajendra Nagar, which are almost synonymous to, cracking IAS examinations, UPSC
Yes.
examinations,
Yes.
then accommodation, ma'am, is something that definitely needs a closer look. We spoke to property dealers also, but that's a very concerning but a different aspect. I wanted to know from you, ma'am, that the government has taken note of it. Drishti IAS came up with a statement saying that we need to have a bigger and a better plan for it. Uh,
Yes.
a panel also, I think, has now started to look into it. What recommendations do you think should be given from their side, or if you can share what is needed from the government side in order to make it uniform?
From the government side, we need those
Mhm,
requirements to be specified.
mhm,
And the requirements to be specified would relate to, first of all, security.
mhm,
And for security, there should be clear-cut norms about how to be secure from, say, an outbreak of fire. So, do you have fire extinguishers which are working? Are
mhm,
you doing regular drills for the students to vacate should there
mhm,
be an emergency? So, normally in such buildings, there's always an exit which is created for people to escape, which could be a removable window frame. So, do you
mhm.
have that? In case of
Yes.
flooding, how are you going to deal with it? So, are you doing regular checks on the drainage system?
Mhm,
So,
mhm,
that is important. The drainage system in and around that particular building. In
mhm,
addition to that, norms of the size of the classroom, the air conditioning, so that it's not stuffy, so it's not full of carbon dioxide, clean drinking water, toilet facilities, all of this should be done, and it's not something that will cost the earth. You just have to
absolutely.
take care of the basic requirements. Then,
Right.
doctor and call, medical facilities,
Mhm,
because students are there from across the country. They're not close to their families or homes. So these institutions should play the role of the family, of ensuring that if there's a medical emergency, how do we provide that help and support? So all these should be factored in and should be monitored. So monitoring is important, and area-wise monitoring should happen, just like you have police stations which are there area-wise. So there should be monitoring
well,
systems area-wise which need to be in place.
absolutely. Dr. Das, I would really thank you for taking time out and sharing your views on this, because this is something that is, we hope
Yes.
that has a logical end to it.
Don't miss out. Follow One India for real-time updates.